Hey guys, welcome back to more Real Stories. This is the one where an HOA president called the cops on us for trimming our own bushes, and ended up getting arrested right in front of half the neighborhood. Yeah, let me walk you through this because it didn't start crazy, but it got there real fast. So my wife and I had just bought our first house, and you know how that feels. Equal parts excitement and mild panic because suddenly everything is your responsibility. The place was in a small neighborhood with an HOA, but our realtor kept downplaying it, saying it was super chill, mostly just handled the pool and common areas. Nothing to worry about. Looking back, that was the first lie we bought along with the house. We closed on a Friday, planned the move for Saturday morning. Everything was smooth, or at least it felt like it until about 8 a.m. when the moving truck pulled into our driveway and we started unloading boxes. That's when she showed up. Didn't knock, didn't wave, just marched straight up like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Mid-50s, tight blonde bun, polo shirt with the neighborhood logo stitched on, like she was wearing a uniform. You know the type. "Are you aware?" she says. No introduction, no smile. That moving trucks require prior HOA approval? I remember just standing there with a box in my hands, trying to process what she just said. "I'm sorry, what?" "Large vehicles must be approved 72 hours in advance." My wife stepped in, still being polite. "We just bought the house. We're moving in. That does not exempt you from the rules." And before we could even respond, she pulled out her phone and started taking pictures. Of the truck, of us, of the house, like we were already guilty of something. "I'm documenting this violation. You'll be receiving a fine." That's when she finally told us who she was. Elena, HOA president. Then she turned around and left like she'd just issued a citation. We didn't even know what to say. We just looked at each other like, did that really just happen? 3 days later, we got the letter. $150 fine for an unauthorized commercial vehicle. A moving truck. On move-in day. In our own driveway. I called the HOA management company, and the guy on the phone sounded like he'd had this conversation 100 times before. "Yeah, she's very strict," he said. "But honestly, that's not something we typically fine for. You can file an appeal." So I did. And then he added, almost like a warning, "Just so you know, she sits on the appeals committee." Yeah, that should tell you everything. 2 weeks later, appeal denied. Long letter, full of bylaw citations, ending with that classic line. Ignorance of the rules is not an excuse. We paid it. Didn't want to start off on the wrong foot. Figured maybe if we just followed everything to the letter, things would settle down. They didn't. A couple weeks later, I'm in the garage on a Sunday morning, around 10:30, working on a small bookshelf. Nothing major, just a table saw, some cuts, garage door open for air. And like clockwork, she appears again. "Power tools are prohibited before 11 a.m. She calls out. I checked my phone. It's 10:30. Exactly. I blinked. "I'll be done before 11. That means you cannot use them until 11. At that point I could feel it building, just that slow burn of someone pushing way past reasonable. "I'm in my own garage," I said. "I'm not bothering anyone." "You're bothering me," she snapped, pointing 3 houses down. "And yeah, I'll admit it, I was done being polite." "Then close your windows." Her face changed instantly. "I don't appreciate your attitude. This is your second violation." Sure enough, another letter came. $200 this time. But this is where things started to change for us, because instead of just paying it, we actually sat down and read the HOA bylaws. And buried in there was the truth. Power tools weren't restricted until 11, they were restricted until 10 a.m. I hadn't broken any rule. She just Made one up. I called the management company again. Same guy. He sighed the second I explained. Yeah, that's incorrect. It's 10 a.m. I'll reverse that. Then he added, a little quieter, you're not the first people to have issues with her. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about enforcing rules. This was about control. So we started documenting everything. Photos, timestamps, copies of every notice she left, every interaction we had. And then things crossed a line. One evening we came home from dinner, and she was in our backyard, just standing there, taking pictures of our fence. I actually froze for a second because it didn't even feel real. What are you doing? I called out. She turned around like it was completely normal. Your fence has peeling paint. It needs to be fixed within 30 days. How did you even get back there? The gate was unlocked. So you just walked into our yard? As HOA president, I have the authority to conduct inspections. My wife stepped forward immediately. No, you don't. That's trespassing. Get out. She didn't argue. She just took a few more pictures and left. That weekend, we installed security cameras. And that decision changed everything. Because over the next couple of weeks, we caught her on our property 6 different times. Walking along the side of the house, peering into the garage, even trying the back gate after we started locking it. We sent the footage to the management company. They were apologetic, but basically said unless we wanted to pursue legal action, there wasn't much they could do. We even talked to a lawyer, and his advice? Document everything or consider moving. Moving. After 2 months. Yeah, no. So we kept documenting. And then came the day it all blew up. Saturday afternoon, nice weather. I'm out front trimming the bushes. Just basic maintenance. And here she comes again. Fast, determined, already upset. Stop. Landscaping changes require approval. I'm trimming bushes, I said. That alters the exterior appearance. And something in me just snapped. Not explosive, just done. These are my bushes. On my property. I don't need permission to maintain them. Her face went red, then darker. I'm the HOA president. What I say goes. I actually laughed. Or what? You're going to regret this. My wife came outside, stood next to me. You need to leave our property. She pulled out her phone, started recording us, saying we were being hostile. And then she said it clear as day. I'm going to make your lives miserable. Our camera caught everything. About 40 minutes later, a police car pulled up. 2 officers stepped out, calm, professional, asked what was going on. We explained everything, offered to show the footage. And then we heard her voice. Officers, over here. She came marching across the lawn like she'd been waiting for backup. These people threatened me, she said, pointing at us. We just looked at each other like, you've got to be kidding. She went on about violations, disrespect, how we were a danger to the neighborhood. And then she said it, I am the law around here. One of the officers paused. Mom, HOA rules are not criminal law. But she kept pushing, demanding we be arrested. They asked her directly, did they threaten you with harm? She hesitated, because she couldn't say yes. They warned her calmly that filing a false police report is a crime. And that's when everything unraveled. She started yelling, demanding badge numbers, saying she knew the mayor, the police chief, everything. And then, out of nowhere, she grabbed one of the officer's arms. He pulled back. Ma'am, don't touch me. She reached again. That was it. Turn around, he said. You're under arrest. And just like that, silence fell over the whole street. Neighbors came out. Phones were up. People were watching from everywhere. She was screaming now, full meltdown. "I'm the victim. I called you." Didn't matter. They cuffed her. That sound, the click of those handcuffs. Honestly, it felt like the first moment in 2 months where something finally made sense. They walked her to the car, still yelling, still insisting she was in charge. Door closed. And just like that, it was over. We gave our statements the next day, brought all the footage, all the documentation. And here's the part we didn't expect. We weren't the only ones. Once this came out, other neighbors started speaking up. Stories about fines, harassment, inspections that didn't make sense. Within a week, the HOA board held an emergency meeting. She was removed, unanimously. More than half the fines she issued, reversed. Some people had paid thousands over the years. As for her, she was charged, convicted, put on probation, ordered into community service and anger management, and given a restraining order to stay away from us. She moved out not long after. And the neighborhood? Quiet, normal, the way it should have been from the start. But I keep thinking about one thing. If we hadn't pushed back, if we hadn't documented everything, how long would this have gone on? How many people just deal with stuff like that because it feels easier than fighting it? So yeah, what would you have done? Would you have stood your ground earlier?